whether or not this click-through rates and click rates were affected by Apple privacy updates.
And a lot of people are screaming a lot that like, oh, email will die. No, but there will be less competition if you do things right.
So like sending the right message to the right person and not like bombarding your list with like the entire list with the same message.
Our rule of thumb to have a one call to action per email. There were 200,000 million clicks on that email, which is insane.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Email Einstein, the podcast by Flowium. We are your host, Vera Sadlak.
And Andriy Boychuk.
And we are happy to have you back here to discuss yet another exciting e-commerce topic. Andriy, how's it going? What have changed
Good.
since the last time we talked?
Not much, but I'm happy that we don't have a delay anymore and you finally got your Wi-Fi internet after a year.
You after
don't
months,
have to steal
but
anymore.
Yes. Yes, I don't have to steal my neighbor's internet anymore.
Yeah,
Steal, borrow, potato, right? I'm still figuring out the background situation. So right now I'm recording it in front of my fireplace. I do have like a freaking fireplace in the apartment. How cool is this, right?
Real one?
No. I mean, it used to be real. I think it used to be real in all of this like old London apartments because my house is like the apartment where I live. It's like 300 years old or something. So it used to be real, but they, I think, just like blocked it because there is like no use for it anymore. So it's just like decorative fireplace now. Still cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. So you guys, today's topic has been like highly requested by all of you who listen, by all of you who watch our YouTubes. Every time we post something about this topic, it gets very, very popular. So today
Even
we will
internally,
Yes.
like our teammates asking us when they're working on different projects, sometimes they want to improve this, and that's why we're dedicating the full podcast episode to it.
Yes, so please roll the red carpet for episode about different ways to improve your email click-through rates, and we will be sharing some exciting examples as well. Let's do this.
You know what, we are like when we were doing research, there's common ways how you can improve click-through rate, but also there's like uncommon or the new ways. Of course, people coming up with the new strategies, new technologies, but I personally hate those resources where they're like, create compelling subject line. But how subject line has to do with a click rate? And I know we just had a short talk before the recording.
Right.
But I just don't like when people like write this, like, let me start what is email marketing is and how we drive traffic to website and like, you know, like, and then after probably five minutes of your time, they like start talking about the click rate or click-through rate.
Yeah, agree. But like, I mean, still there are some basic stuff that are still can be like confusing for many. I know I was confused when I first started like working in email marketing. And I know that this like blogs that don't come from like the authoritative source, they don't help either. Very often these blogs, they confuse click rate and click-through rate. Andriy, can you explain the difference?
Sure. So we send an email to 1,000 recipient, or let's do 100 because easier math. 100 recipient. 10 of those people clicked. So click rate for that email is 10%. However, let's say when you're calculating click-through rate, it's open to click. So it's like you send it to 200 people. From 100 people, let's say 50 open. So you have an open rate 50%. And you have 50 people open. And let's say the same 10 clicked. So what's the click-through rate is 20%. So click rate is at 10% and click-through rate is 20%.
I see.
Okay, so now I'm taking my words back about the subject lines. So it's not relevant for click rate, but it is relevant for click-through rate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because
Because the
there's a variable.
click-through rate is the percentage of people who open, and click
Yeah, so
rate
I
is
do apologize for all those who created the content, and I insulted them. So like I do apologize. I did a mistake.
That was a quick one. Usually it takes like this YouTuber longer, like they first make a mistake in the video, then they record the whole separate video about the mistake they
Listen,
made.
I'm married. I'm married for almost 11 years, so
So it's easy to admit
practice.
mistakes to you.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, another like a little discussion we had with you before the call is whether or not this click-through rates and click rates were affected by Apple privacy updates. Because with open rates, and it is definitely one of the metrics that we as email marketers look at all the time, with open rates, we are seeing this trend that open rates are inflated. Does it mean, though, that if the open rates are inflated, the click-through rates will be deflated? Is that the case, Andrei?
Yes, you're correct. So the Apple privacy does not affect click rate, but it does affect click-through rate because you have a higher open rate, but the same click rate. So in percentage, it will decrease the number, like click-through rate.
Right. I see. Okay, guys, so that probably means that nowadays, even more important than before is to work on your click rates, click-through rates, on improving your click-through rates and click rates for deliverability purposes and just for the health of the account's sake, I guess. So let's start from the basics, Andrei. Number one strategy that we recommend to use when thinking about improving your click rates is be strategic about your CTAs. Tell us more, Andrei.
So, and by the way, somebody just last week, I believe they commented under one of our videos because we have similar video on YouTube where I described like 7 ways to improve your click-through rate. This is the advanced version of that video and much longer in much details. So our rule of thumb to have a one call to action per email. So let's say if you have a product, you have a collection, you have a sales, you have one call to action. However, it doesn't mean it's a one button or one hyperlink. It can be 5 of them, 5 different button, hyperlink, image. You can have multiple links, but the goal is to have only one call to action so you do not confuse people. So you don't like, hi, buy here the new collection and here's 20% off for our old collection. Like you don't want to confuse much your audience unless you have some kind of unique brand. Let's say if you're Amazon, maybe you do want to show them like multiple products and multiple call to action. However, I still, even for Amazon, I would say it's better to have one call to action and people take an action.
Yeah, it's that, like, again, going back to that example of like choice paralysis. When you have like too many options to click on, you just like don't click on anything. So too many clickable options, no clicks at all. Too many like different paths, basically the visitor gets lost. I must disagree with you, Andrei, because there are certain brands that I appreciate them doing like multiple CTAs. For example, when it comes to like skincare or fashion, I need to see my options, especially if they don't have like as much information about me as I would want them to, and they can't like personalize email. So I do appreciate those emails, when they have like a link to the collection, but then links to like separate like recommended products from the collection. And I do like when they include like the CTA for the social media as well. So as a user, I appreciate it. As a marketer, I see where you're coming from.
Even as a user, I would respectfully disagree. And again, we can have different opinions. The goal of email is not to sell. The goal of email to get them curious, for them to click and visit the website. So if you have many options, sometimes, yes, you give, like the logic is here, the following. We give them more options. They have more options to click. But when people are reviewing their emails, you having their attentions for a few seconds. So it's rather to focus them on one thing versus to like split that attention to different things. Because when people have multiple options, they just like analysis paralysis and they move on to different thing. Their brain shuts off and they move to the next thing.
There is this tactic. Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
why, that's why the feeds on our phones, Instagram, TikTok, so
Addictive, right?
powerful. Yeah, because it doesn't show you 3 stories or 3 posts in a row and it's like three,
Mm-hmm.
three, three. No, it's like only one on your screen and you scroll to the next one, to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is actually this tactic that our designers taught me. It's called the squint test. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's basically when you're like opening an email on your phone and you try to squint as much that email gets like blurred. You still want to basically see where your attention is going. So that will help you to understand where the customer like will click. It should be like super obvious if your
What is
CTA
squint?
doesn't. Like when you're like
What is?
squinting your eyes like this. So like everything is like blurred, you know? I don't know how to
Oh,
explain it. Yeah,
I
it's
got you. Another tactic that I use, what was taught in architectural school, is basically was about drafting when I was drafting with my hand, not computer,
mm-hmm.
to take like 2 steps back, because when you draft, you have to have a different weight for each line. So like when you stand back, so you understand the drawing. Same thing with the email. I would say you can step back and see how your emails like look from the far, like what stand out to you.
But that's a different thing
Something
with email,
similar
right?
but different approach. I
Yeah,
think the same
same
idea,
idea.
same goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, in those cases where you need to use multiple CTAs, and I know I do have clients who we have multiple CTAs for. For example, I covered it in our previous podcast, but for one of my clients, we do send this like newsletter with like multiple recommended resources. And believe it or not, that newsletter does have like a really good open rates and click-through rates too. So in those cases, when you absolutely need to have like multiple CTAs, there is this like CTA hierarchy best practices that you need to follow. We always lead with like the primary CTA, and normally we put it at the top of the email. Here's actually a good example from the brand called Jones Road. For those of you who are like watching us on YouTube, basically on the top of their of the screen, they do have like the main CTA that is linked to their, I assume like the skincare collection. But they also have this like in-text link that is specifically talking about one of the products, because this email, it talks about the skincare routine, right? The steps of the routine. And they do have it in the form of like a linked text, like a hyperlink, right? And it's like in pink. So you can see that there is something special about that text, that it's like clickable, but yet it still does not like distract you from the main thing, right? But then what I also like about this email is that even though they have like multiple products, the CTA is not repetitive. You know, sometimes the brands are doing like, they include this product blocks and then they have this like shop now or buy now or add to cart on all of them. I kind of like that the CTAs are like different and they're very descriptive. They are telling you exactly what this product does, or like what you need to do and stuff like that. So I do like when brands offer multiple CTA options, but I do like when they have this like hierarchy that you still can understand what is like the main CTA, right?
But I like this example, this email, especially what I said about Instagram, for example, because
Mm-hmm.
you are scrolling and you have your screen and you can see this, like the title, this lady, then some text and call to action. So probably this section will fit to your screen and you scroll
Right.
to the next one. So basically this email divided in the block, and each block has one CTA. So this, like, I do love this this layout, and I think this is strategically great example.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like those emails, and I personally believe they are ineffective when they have 3 products in a row with add to cart. They like sometimes random products. That thing does not work. But if it does, please prove me wrong. Put comments under this video, or like shoot us message in WhatsApp, flowium.com/WhatsApp. And I would like to learn. I'm not always right, just sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like your point about like Basically having one CTA in one sort of like screen, especially when it comes to like mobile optimization. Yeah. The sparking curiosity is also like a good strategy when it comes to like CTAs. I really do appreciate those brands who are being creative with their CTAs, like Chubbies, for example. We do use them a lot as an example of very clever copy and clever designs. But in this email, they do promote like multiple products, like multiple products from the same collection, actually from like different collections. But they are like CTAs are so clever that you just like want to keep scrolling, and just like you want to keep clicking because they are intriguing, right? So I do like that.
You know what? I was just thinking it would be cool, and probably somebody already does this. It's cool to design an email in like Instagram feed format. The like picture with some text with likes, the next one, and I would be curious to see how many people will, and the heart should be unclicked, so people want
so just
to
click like the post kind of.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just I just got the idea. So
oh no,
and to all
I
listeners,
think
you just got the idea for free.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, people. People are paying money to get Andri's recommendations, and you have them for free. Thank you very much. But I do like that idea, Andri. I'll probably gonna keep it. I'm gonna totally steal it. Okay, cool. CTAs in multiple locations. What do Andri think about this strategy, like having them placed in different locations of the email?
So I volunteer for the organization Dignitas Ukraine, and I use this strategy a lot. So there's not only one call to action, but multiple multiple locations. One call to action is like almost at the beginning, and I like to use it as a hyperlink. Then I like to use it as image call to action, then button call to action. So I put more call to actions, but different format. Doesn't mean like I have like 5 different buttons, but I do have like hyperlink, image, button. What else can be the call to action? Yeah, I like the strategy.
You just like spread them all over the email, but it's like still the same CTA. Basically, no matter where the people would click on, they would still be brought to the same location, right?
Yeah. There are a few more things I want to mention about before we move to the next one. So also the design layout means a lot. I see a lot of brands making this mistake. They're putting too many call to action in the header of their email. They're treating email as a website menu, like for him, for her, this and that. Listen, you created this email for people to see. If you have too many call to action in the top, it defeats the purpose for people to scroll. They just click or they don't click. You're overloading people from the beginning. So make it minimal. Make them curious to see your email. Scroll down and then click. So this is number one. Also, like a great example, very similar to what you said about Chubbies, about spark curiosity. But is this one from Mr. Beast brand's Feastable? By the way, soon we will have a retention director on our podcast. So if you have any questions about Mr. Beast Feastable emails, please leave them in our chat in WhatsApp, flowium.com/WhatsApp, and we'll make sure to ask him like all those questions. But what I like about this email, if you're watching on YouTube, listen, he provides information. He said, we launched in Target and this has happened. There's a few snapshots of what happened, but it's hard to get. There's some skateboards, some cameras. It's like you can guess, but you're not sure if you're guessing right. So you do want to click to find out. So it's like a hook to hook you. And Mr. Beast is one of the best who creates hooks. So we all know this. But this is a great example how you can hook people to click.
No, that's such a fun idea. I would totally click on that. Like, yeah, it would get me like this. But I think all we talked about, it ties nicely with strategy number 2. Personalize your emails, because the more personalized your email is, the more value you deliver to your customer, the higher the chances are that they will want to like continue reading, right? And I mean, to me, the personalization actually starts from like understanding who your customer is and like what they like and what they would like to receive from you. And it all comes down to segmentation as well. So this is like, for me, this is like the very first step of like personalizing any strategy is just like segmenting. So like sending the right message to the right person and not like bombarding your list with like the entire list with the same message.
Agree. And what you mentioned before about skincare, for just have thinking like idea in my head. So how I would do it if there's some kind of quiz or something to collect information from the past, I will segment that. And somebody who has a dry skin, the call to action might be like, hey, moisturize your skin, or the things, products for dry skin, like thing that talks to your pain point.
Right.
And you are more likely to click that versus show the product and shop now. That thing is not personalized. Something like, hey, products for dry skin is like, oh, I have dry skin. I'm interested in this product. Like, let me click on it.
Right. But also like this segmentation, it does help with your email deliverability in general, and regularly cleaning your list, like removing those people who are like unengaged from your segments, removing those who like bounced, who marked your email as spam. It actually will help you to make into your recipient's inbox. And as a result, you will get like higher engagement, higher open rate, higher click-through rates. So yeah, so that's just like a bonus for you.
I'm glad that you just brought this about the deliverability, because the new rules from Yahoo and Google will be in effect February 1st. Not sure when we're releasing this podcast. Do you know?
Actually, yeah, it's the last week, I think, of February. So in a few days, you guys.
January, you mean, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it's extremely important. So if somebody if 3 people out of 1,000 mark you as a spam, more of your emails will land in a spam folder. This is like tighter, stricter rules from Yahoo and from Gmail. So it's extremely important for you to check those and improve those numbers, clean up your list. It's extremely important. And a lot of people are screaming a lot that like, oh, email will die. No, but there will be less competition if you do things right. There will be less competition to compete with your brand. Because if you do it right, you will land in inbox. Everybody else might land in the spam folder if they don't follow those rules.
What is the percentage? The benchmark 0.03, right? For the spam complaints.
0.3, I think.
Oh, 0.3. Okay. Well, it still will
it's extremely
separate like a lot of people high. Or like get a lot of people out of the industry, right? Cool. And when it comes to personalization, also don't forget about flows. There's like automated email flows. They do generate high click rates because content is like have high, like people who receive this email, they have higher intent of opening the emails from the flows because the flows are triggered by like certain actions, right? So overall, automated emails, amazing for driving higher click-through rates.
I do love this email that you have from Spotify. Actually, I'll add probably a few more from Buzzsprout, also from YouTube. I remember when they do the wrap up for the 2023. I mean, people even I do. I screenshotted my email and shared on social media. Like people wants to share what they accomplished. Like from this podcast, we got, I don't know how many like downloads. We were in the top 25 podcasts in a Buzzsprout, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's cool numbers and people love to know the numbers. And I'm like to share this and people like it, like commented, oh, congratulations. This is a lot. Like we did like 315 videos last year on YouTube, which is like, for some people, it's like, whoa.
Like for all people, it's whoa, Andre, it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I think the Spotify, they probably like started this trend, or at least they were like one of the first brands who did this, like your 2023 wrapped or whatever, like end of the year review email. But this is like the ultimate personalization email, right? What was your actually, Andre, number one song last year? Do you remember, for Spotify or whatever you're using, Apple Music or whatever?
Yeah, so we do you remember we had that music thing
in our Slack channel?
Yeah. Everybody shared, but I don't have Spotify. But hold on. Let me just. I have it.
I had like
So
the most
top
random
track.
list ever. Yes.
No, so actually, you know what? Let me just screenshot it and put it so you can see it.
Patriotic, uplifting, badass music. Good for you, Andre. My number one is like Ed Sheeran and then Harry Styles. So like my number three is the Ukrainian song. So you did better this year. But yeah, I do love those emails and they are great because people do share them. It creates like a lot of traction, a lot of like social media interaction. It's amazing. Also like for personalization, you can personalize obviously person's first name. This is like a no-brainer. You always have to like include it in the email. But I do love those apps who help you to personalize the hero images, right? With the name, with person names, or sometimes you can even make it animated. So anyways, personalization is huge. Don't neglect it and you will see your CTA or your click-through rates growing like crazy. Strategy number 3, emphasize call to action with images and GIFs. We talked a lot about GIFs. If you want to learn more about GIFs, go back to one of our previous episodes that we will link in the description box, and you can learn more about how powerful they are for improving the engagement. But I actually witnessed it firsthand with one of my brands who we did test like static image versus animated image. And here on the screen, you can see this is like literally the image was taken from the same email. So on one image, we have this like static, like SUV car. Gosh, I don't know what's the name of the car. That's embarrassing. I've been working with them for
Toyota Tacoma. On the
okay,
top,
the Tacoma. Thank you, Andre. Yeah. So on the first one is just like a static Tacoma, and the second one is like the animated image of the same Tacoma, but it's like driving through mud and through a desert or whatever. We A/B tested like multiple variations of like similar kind of variations, and we did see the CTR on average, the click-through rates perform 0.3% better, which to you might seem like not a big difference, but for like a big brand, 0.3 is actually like a huge thing. And it did drive like a lot more revenue. The animated one eventually drive like a lot of more revenue because there was like a big lift or like the average lift in the CTR, right?
Yeah, and going back to the previous kind of strategy about personalization, this is great also example because you're talking here about 2006 Toyota Tacoma. I don't think you're sending this to somebody who has Dodge or Ford.
No.
Yeah,
we kind of like collect information about customers through different means, and then we like use it to segment it because, well, for this brand, for any brand, it's important, but for this brand, the selling like $thousands worth of like car details, you would be bummed if you would receive like a suggestion for like a RAM for like $2,000 products if you're using Tacoma, right? So yeah, for them, it's like super important. And like the email itself is like personalized to customer needs, not just like the name or the topic, but the entire email is like personalized to a certain group of customers.
Want to discover how much money your email marketing can actually bring you? If that's the case, let our team of email marketing experts show you how. With our free email marketing audit, we'll conduct a comprehensive analysis of your email marketing efforts, provide you with an action plan, and show you how to effectively segment and convert your audience. Simply go to flowium.com/audit and book your audit today. So the next strategy is to make your promos in emails time sensitive for them to take action. If you add urgency, either clicking timer or saying that the thing's expiring in X, Y, and Z minutes, people are more likely to click, even if they don't want to buy that. They're just curious to see what's going on.
Right. And you can create like urgency different ways. You don't need to always use this like fancy countdown timers. There's a great example by the brand called Baboon to the Moon. By the way, I love the name. It's so like clever. And
you always found this brand. How do they target brands. You?
I don't know. I guess I'm like just like subscribed to all kinds of like weird people, weird brands. I love weird.
It's like in meta targeting, we're like audience, people who like weird things.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a cool brand. And they do sell like different like bags, and the bags looks amazing. But their emails are great too. And Just like my point here is that you don't need to use any like advanced designs to communicate the urgency. This email that they sent, it was like super short. It was like plain text email. And all they said that consider this your heads up. Backpacks are back on the shelves for now in your favorite core colors. So yeah, they didn't give you any certain like countdown timers or no nothing. They just like created the urgency around the product that is being sold out. So yeah, it's super cool example.
Also, extremely important, do not fake it. So if you have some kind of urgency, if you have some kind of sale and you have a deadline, make sure there's no sales or a promo code does not work after that time, because people will stop trusting you. So Last Crumb, as client of ours, they use, they're selling cookies, but in matter of seconds, and matter of minutes, sometimes even seconds. I know that some people are having 3 devices like laptop, phone, and a computer to buy a pack of cookies, which cost $150. But there's no fake urgency. Like if I want to buy when they dropping those cookies, like typically it's Wednesdays, I click on that, it's always sold out, always. Even my friends say, listen, you're working with them. Is there any back door to buy those cookies? Because I cannot buy them.
I haven't had them yet. It's been, 2 years since we started working with them? Maybe 3? I don't know. I haven't had these cookies yet. Not that I was super like motivated to like be the first one in the line, but yeah, one day.
Sorry for spoiling. Cookie are like any other cookies.
I heard they are heavenly, Andre. What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course. Like you have to be heavenly good if you pay $150 for 12 cookies. But the experience is amazing.
Yeah.
And when you have that experience, you have like...
The packaging, every cookie has a story and everything. One of my friends actually received it as a gift for Christmas. And I'm like so jealous. Okay, cool. So the next strategy is a big one. Optimize your emails for mobile. You guys, if your emails are not like optimized for mobile and it's like hard to see your CTA or the CTA does not stand out enough, people won't click. That's like easy as that. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, right?
It is, but what does it mean? And I'll explain you. So there's a big difference between pretty design, like email design. Okay, sorry. There's a difference between graphic design, who creates beautiful designs, and email marketing designer. And you will ask, what's the difference? Any graphic designer can design beautiful email, but does not mean it's optimized for emails. So what I see often on the desktop, there's a beautiful email because I have 30-inch, whatever, the screen, and it looks huge. And I clearly see all the letters, call to action, and so forth. But when I open on my iPhone, and keep in mind, there's also iPhone, small or light, even with a smaller screen. I don't see it. Like the text, everything shrinks because it's an image. Image shrinks and everything else shrinks. And those call to actions are too small. Text is too small. It's not readable. That's why any text or buttons needs to be mobile responsive. So if it's on an iPad or it's on an iPhone, it's optimized and it's getting bigger or smaller, depends with your device size.
Right. And I do love when brands are creating the email that way, that when you open an email, you have like one CTA per screen, like we just discussed it. Here's a good example, Songkick. Here's the good example. So when you first open their email, you literally have one CTA. But when you view the same email on desktop, then email gets longer. You have multiple CTAs and stuff like that. So it's super important so that this email, it reads one story that you just want to keep scrolling on a mobile device. Okay, cool. The next strategy, the one I'm the most excited about, is gamification. Andre, tell us more about what do we mean here by gamification?
To prompt the receiver to do something in your email. Sometimes it's to play a game,
right,
to vote for something. I see there's another example. I'm not sure what it is. But maybe to take a survey with the AMP email. So AMP emails, AMP technology, open the doors for creativity. So sometimes it's a survey, feedback. Right here we have a Mr. B Feastable brands where it's saying click this email 1,000 times for a chance to win 100% off. And just imagine how many times people will click. And person that we are inviting to our podcast, he said they send it email to 2 million subscribers. And the click, there were 200,000 million clicks on that email, which is insane. So it's not like 10% click rate. It's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I just like want to have them on our podcast because they do have like so many questions. But listen, you don't even need to have that like AMP technology. One of the examples that we might have shared in the past, this is one from one of the brands that we work with. We created this like little promo back in the day. I think it was like a few years ago for the National Train Your Brain Day. We basically gave them the riddle, and the answer to that riddle was their discount code, right? So we've seen like a big improvement in click-through rates just because people probably was curious whether or not they guessed it correctly, right? And just like I in general love this email, love this design, and we actually try to
because you created.
I might be biased, yeah. No, it was like back in the day.
Creative.
It's super cool, and I really like what our designer, I think it's Katarina back in the day who created it. She actually like emulated this almost like a phone message conversation here, which made it even more like engaging, this email. So yeah, you don't need to have the AMP technology. It's amazing. If you have that means, definitely do that. And here's actually one more email that we discussed on our previous call.
So hold on. Before we go, because I cannot solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish. What am I? Starts with M.
Okay, Andrei. Well, I'm going to give you a hint. Me and my husband, we were in this business before we sold it. We were selling what?
Map?
3 letters. Yes, it's a map.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You would probably clicked on that CTA just like to find out whether or not the answer was correct. So yeah, just like be creative. There are like a lot of ways to improve your click-through rates. This is one of the examples that we shared last week for the Valentine's Day episode. The Share the Love email from WWF, where they had like different animals and you had to click on your favorite one. I assume that they are click-through rates. Yes, you had to like pick your favorite or like pick your favorite animal or whatever.
And if you missed the last week's episode, why we believe people are clicking, because Vera said that penguin should deserve more clicks.
Yes,
but
definitely.
Right now they are like on the on the second spot. So Vera would like, oh no, penguin has to win, so I'll click for penguins. So it's a like our like human psychology, and they're playing on that, and this is a great example.
Cool. Okay, awesome. The next strategy that I know you particularly like, you've been a big supporter of the idea of using text-based emails for improvement of CTR. Why are they effective?
So our team like hates me for that, but I know they are effective. And here we have example from Neil Patel and also example from Magic Spoon. I'm not that guy who said like 100% of your emails needs to be text-based, but I like what Magic Spoon does. They have probably every 10th, so like maybe 1 to 2 emails out of 10, they send text-based emails.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's a break the pattern. It's very clear. Like I love receiving Neil Patel email. Like he does not waste my time with a like big copy. It's like what? Even this one example that we're sharing right now, this is very long email that he sent. Typically, it's like maximum 3 lines and call to action. Oh, by the way, we need to also include from Sticker Mule. They are the best of the best. They have 1 line with a hyperlink. That's it.
Amazing. I would love to see their like CTR results. I would assume they would be super high. No, they are great because these emails, they don't have any like distraction. The call to action is very obvious, right? You have like 1 link to click. Nothing is distracting you. They are amazing. Yeah. I'm a big advocate of those as well. And actually, we will have like a big A/B test series for one of my accounts where we will be testing like image-based versus text-based. And this brand, normally, they are very like image heavy, So I'm curious to see the results.
And there's, general recommendations about the call to action. Sorry, not call to action. To increasing click-through rate. Like you need to do split test, but actually it's like you need to do those things for all KPIs. But one important thing is to use heat maps. I mean, you can use a paid version. There's a tool for heat maps of emails, but there's a free trick that we use internally. And I have the entire YouTube video about this called Can You Heat Map Emails? In that video, I explain how to modify your links so you are able to see where people actually clicking. Because what the problem is, let's say if we put 5 times Flowium.com in the hyperlink in the button in the image, all ESPs like Klaviyo, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, they will show, let's say, 50% click rate on all those locations.
Right.
They will not separate if people click on the button or hyperlink.
Yeah, but there is like a really fast, quick way to differentiate them now.
Yes,
Cool.
yes, indeed.
Okay, well, there you have it, you guys. Our 7 best strategies of improving your click rates and click-through rates. Actually, there was a video by Andriy where he talks like in depth about some of the strategies. So we will link it in the description box as well. And everything that we discussed will be in the description too. Thank you so much for listening, you guys. It was fun having you here with us yet again. And we hope to have you back next Tuesday.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you're watching this and you like what you see, please hit subscribe and hit the bell because it helps us grow our channel.